In order to commence today's proceedings with the blessings of the Almighty, I next invite Al-Hafiz Al-Qari Abdullah for recitation of Qur'an.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون Ulama. The importance of interfaith harmony and cooperation, values that are deeply ingrained in our organization's ethos. A special welcome is extended to the ambassadors and the High Commissioners representing all the esteemed countries present here today. Your presence signifies the global connections and solidarity that we strive to foster. Today's event also includes the presentation of the book Nati Sabe Haras Upahar, a collection of speeches of condolence expressed in Parliament regarding on the passing of our late founder, Deshamanya Alhaj M.A. Baki Maka, a founder of the All Children of Muslim League Youth Funds. We are honored to have with us the individual who contributed to this publication and the spirit of collaboration it represents. We also extend our gratitude to and welcome to Mr. Imtisam Mezan Mohideen, who support us sponsoring toward the publication of this book. As we celebrate our Founders Day, it is important to reflect on the journey of All Zealand Union of Muslim League Youth Funds. The video presentation scheduled will take us through our history and the various projects undertaken.
So we were in the 70s and the 80s where the politicians, especially the Muslim community, the political leadership of the Muslim community is too silent on this issue, including in Parliament. In previous decades, it is the pressure from the democratic Muslim leadership on the major political parties of the day and the mobilization of voter opinion that helped the leaders who were themselves oriented towards Palestine to take the stance they did. But today we see none of that. There is silence. So I will conclude by urging, by pleading that within the Muslim community, pressure should be brought to bear on the mainstream political parties, leaders and parliamentarians to ensure that we in Sri Lanka do not abandon our tradition of solidarity with Palestine, and that we stand up and are counted as having done our duty as fellow human beings at this time of the torment of the people, the Palestinian people of Gaza. Thank you.
Today's keynote speaker, Ambassador Dr. Gandhi Achirika, former Minister Baki Maka, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Ambassador for Indonesia, the representative of the US Embassy, members of the head table, ladies and gentlemen. I consider it a great privilege to be before you, because when this invitation was extended to me, I accepted this invitation with great respect, because I had the opportunity from my birth time I always had a very close friendship in the Muslim community. That was further strengthened when I was the mayor. And it also so happened that today's occasion we are paying respect to a highly recognized Muslim leader, former speaker, Dr. Marker, the model speaker, and also who always believed in national unity, peace and harmony. And also your president happened to be working closely with me when I was serving the municipality. So today I've been asked to speak on leadership, legacy and courage to speak for justice. So let me begin not with a quote, but with truth. I have lived by 4 or 5 decades in public life. Leadership is not about holding power. It is about standing up when others sit down. It is about speaking even when your voice trembles. I stand before you today not as a former speaker or a minister or a mayor. I stand as a grateful Sri Lankan. Grateful for the many communities that built this nation. Grateful especially to the Sri Lankan Muslim community for the dignity and the strength you have shown time and again in the face of challenges, various challenges that the Muslim community faces. This gathering today is more than ceremonial. It is generational. You represent the next chapter and the founders whose vision we honor today were not merely leaders. They were risk takers, bridge builders, and truth tellers. I often said, grace is an accident of birth. From my childhood, I always believed that we never ask for my race or my religion. It's an accident. So it is not a issue that we have to fight for shed blood. And this is the point that has not been understood in today's world. Humanity is a decision. In my life, I have sat at many tables with heads of state, political leaders, grieving mothers, with monks and imams, with protesters and presidents. I have learned this, our common humanity is more sacred than our political decisions. We Sri Lankans know what it is to work and we know what it is to eat. I still remember standing in Parliament after Easter Sunday, heartbroken, not as a politician, but as a father. And I remember the extraordinary restraint and compassion shown by many Muslim leaders at that moment. That is what national unity looks like. Not words, but conduct. And I will never forget that Muslim leaders were among the earliest patriots in our independence movement. They joined hands with Sinhala leaders and the Tamil leaders. It was possible for us to join, ask for independence in other countries when they have shed blood to get independence. Because of our unity, we were able to get that without much bloodshed, without sacrificing life. That's probably the reason why people don't realize the value of the independence that we are enjoying today. We have not only contributed to nation building, you help define the very fabric of our national identity. Today the world watches us, or rather chooses not to watch. We are witnessing in real time a tragedy that should take the conscience of any human being. Let me be clear. You do not have to be a Palestinian to feel pain. You do not have to be a Muslim to condemn injustice. You only have to be human. Every morning at 5:30, I start the day watching Al Jazeera. I start the day feeling sorry and crying from my heart about the deaths that are taking place by human beings. What is most dangerous is not only the disruption, but the silence of those who should speak. Erosion of empathy, the normalization of humanity. I fear the world is not only losing life, it is also losing moral compass. As a small nation, Sri Lanka has always believed in standing on the side of the justice. Even when we do so alone, our voice may be small, but it must be principled. And to you, the young leaders in this room, I say, do not let your voice be silenced by distance or by fear. In my time as Speaker of Parliament, I faced moments of immense political pressure, threats, isolation, and even betrayal. But I chose to uphold the Constitution, not convenience. I chose country over party. That was not bravery, but it was my duty. When I stepped into public life, I never imagined I would preside over some of the most turbulent times in our democracy. But I have no regret, because I believe that integrity always outlasts popularity. And you too will face such moments in your careers, your activism, your communities, moments where you must choose comfort or conscience. Choose conscience, that's my advice. This your union was born because a group of young Muslims didn't want to wait for permission to lead. They acted, they picked, they questioned, and they did so with respect, discipline, and vision. You must do the same. The future will not be handed to you. You must shape it. But remember, anger is easy, action is harder, social media is loud, real leadership is quiet and sustained. You must listen more than you speak and act more than you post. Sri Lanka needs you not as passengers but as pilots. In closing, let me end with a reflection, not a conclusion. When I was a young man, I joined the army. That was in 1965. Just after unsuccessful coup, most of the young people here don't realize that we had 2 unsuccessful coups. I joined in the 65 for a short time. That was when the country was a national uncertain. I have since served the public life for 40 years in several positions. And I can tell you with all my heart, there is no greater honor than to serve one's people with honesty, your hands free. No greater joy than to see young leaders rise. And no greater strength than to stand united even in the darkest time. As a Buddhist, I hold dear the teaching that hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love is eternal. Unwritten words help Japan to be a single country instead of being divided. These words were uttered by the former President Jawatan in San Francisco. I know even Islam too teaches, I quote, whoever saves one life, it is as simply as saved all of humanity. There is nothing in the Quran. These are not just religious verses. They are shared human values, and they must be the foundation of the country we build together. So today, let us honor the legacy of your founders, not just with words, but with courage, compassion, and unity. Ladies and gentlemen, may peace be upon you, may justice guide your path, and may Sri Lanka rise through your leadership. I thank you for the courtesy of your attention. Have a nice day.